Dr. Wood, author of the book Miracles in Minutes, and the title of this video is "What is Willpower?" You know, it's some of the research shows that willpower is one of the traits that leads to success. Your ability to persistence, continued focus on something, staying with something in a problem, staying with problem solving, being consistent. And I will go to the gym and not end up the bar, doing handstands and eating chips while drinking beer from a keg. So what is it? And so I'm going to help us out with understanding the three brain model, which to help to understand ourselves. So we have a triune brain, we have a very primitive reptilian brain, we have a mammal brain, and then we have the human brain. And the human brain, or the area right behind your forehead, mine's pretty thick, my forehead that is. I don't know about my brain, I might be a little soft, but that's known as the prefrontal cortex. The cortex is actually the area that does something called willpower. It's called top-down regulation, which is you have these lower two brains, and there's a book out there to understand a concept, not necessarily it's true, it's just a way of thinking about something. Daniel Kahneman wrote a book called not System 1, System 2. He wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow. He won a Nobel Prize for in behavioral economics, that these two lower brains are fast. They're impulsive. So impulsivity, and this is known as the brakes, self-discipline, self-control, that this says, whoa, wait a minute, I gotta feel it. And you don't think before you take action. It feels good, just do it. And that's the marshmallow experiment that showed that people that, a long-term study, I think over 30 years, that people couldn't control themselves. Impulsive, a duck. Didn't do so well in life because they didn't use the human brain. This is smart. This ain't so smart. This part. So when people say feelings are facts and they do, what? I just felt like doing it. Uh-oh. You're in this part of the brain that's very binary. It thinks it's 0, 1. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it up? Is it down? Nazis were the good or bad. The Nazis were good and bad. And. Okay, so that's the kind of the thinking of the prefrontal cortex, which is win-win scenarios that I win and you win. That's the way we look at it. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But let's continue to go back to willpower. So there's some things in willpower that is think like a muscle, and you got to work it to and strengthen it, because it's the hardest. The word that we first learn as children is no. I want to put my finger in an electric socket. No. I would have run out in traffic. No, because little kids don't think before they act. They just all in the moment, just kind of just going through life. And that's why there's something called a parent. Someone's got an adult brain that says, no, don't run out in front of traffic. That could get you hurt and killed. You have to think or stop and look, take a listen before you cross that road. And that's what you teach your kids, which is a form of willpower from a very young age, is stop, think before you take action of running out in traffic and doing things. So that's running out in traffic, and a lot of people run into decisions and relationships and stuff like that, and they don't think before they act. This is why people cheat, because they don't have any freaking willpower control and self-discipline. Even the Bible says that the meek, interpreted as meek means self-disciplined, self-controlled. Meek means power under control. The true Greek interpretation is actually like a wild Mustang. Whee! It's a powerful horse, but whoa. I've tamed the horse. It's under my control. And like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar, they tamed some of the best horses. They were under their control, and that all the power of that horse is now under their control. So that's meekness, self-discipline, self-control. It's learning how to say no to your feelings, and you do things because I choose to do them. That's the difference between. There's a book out there written by Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art, not the Art of War, that's Sun Tzu, The War of Art. And it said the difference between an amateur and a pro is it goes like this. So an amateur goes, well, I write, when do you write your book? And when I feel like it, that's what the amateur says. Like, what are you doing today, Jenny? I don't know, I have to see what I feel, how I feel when I wake up. That's like you're reacting. You're not in charge. You, the prefrontal cortex, your feelings are in charge. Based upon your feelings tell you what to do. You go, all right, okay, whatever. You're run by your feelings. It ain't gonna go so good for you. Not much is gonna happen. You're waiting for if your lucky star to show up. Waiting for your ship to come in. It's not gonna happen. So Pressfield notes in his book that you ask the professional when you write, they'll say, well, that's funny. He asked me when I write. Well, every morning at 9 a.m. I write for the next hour. I just do it, but I choose to do it. And that's the difference. You don't wait for the feeling to hit you. That's why motivation's for losers. You just choose to do it in spite of how you feel. That's how you get things done. So that's part of how willpower works. Hopefully that makes sense to you. You need to be the chooser versus you're waiting for your feelings to tell you what you do. In spite of how I feel, I take action anyway. Dr. Wood, hope this video helps you.